Hello, third grade. I'm so excited to be here with you guys again. So today we're doing second step lesson 4, and this is one of my favorites. This is called Planning to Learn. So we are a Leader in Me school. So I bet you can think of the habit that comes to mind when you think about planning to learn. And there's actually two habits that come to mind. And the first habit is begin with the end in mind. Give me a thumbs up if you thought about that. And then the second habit that comes to mind is put first things first. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about planning to learn and how when we have a plan for learning, we are going to have more time to do things that are fun. So I can't wait to get started with you. Here we go. Okay, so last week you learned a skill for learning called being assertive, and this week we're going to discuss planning to learn. All right, so we're going to review our skills that we've learned so far. And so we have focus attention, listen, be assertive, and self-talk. So also ignoring distractions has to do with self-talk, okay? Here we go. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to watch the Be a Learner song, and we're going to listen for the skills for learning, and we're going to do the motions with the song. Here we go.
All right, come on, listen now. Be respectful. Yeah. Be skillful. Yeah. Be a learner. Be respectful, be skillful, be a learner. You come to school to learn. Well, there's lots of things to see and do, so make the most of it. The power inside of you. Focus attention. Listen with your ears, eyes, and brain. Use your self-talk. Be certain that you will gain. The lesson is starting up. Your eyes and ears are focusing when someone starts to talk. Show your respect by listening. Focus attention. Listen with your ears, eyes, and brain. Use your self-talk. Be certain that you will gain. Be respectful. Yeah. Be skillful. Yeah. Be a learner. Yeah. Be respectful. Be skillful. Be a learner.
All right, we're going to pause it right there. Okay, now we're going to go over our classroom rules. And so I want to see, when you guys listen to the classroom rules, I want you to see if they match any of the things that we talked about today when we are planning for learning. So let's listen and see. Virtual classroom rules. So we've got be on time. And then we have turn your camera on. This sounds like planning to me. Mute your microphone unless it's your turn to talk. Raise your hand if you want to say something. Use hand signals if there is a need to go to the comfort room or drink water. Remain seated unless you are asked to stand. Do not do other tasks while the class is ongoing. Attend online class prepared to participate. If there is a weak internet connection, see the lessons and activities posted in the Google Classroom. Let us follow the rules. Okay, so I heard a few things that sounded like planning for learning, like being on time. You want to plan to make sure you're on time and making sure that your workspace is clear. You're paying attention to only what you're listening to. So yeah, I always make sure I have a water nearby because I get thirsty sometimes, and I make sure I have a snack, but obviously we don't want to snack and drink water while we're with technology, but that's something I always make sure that I do. I make sure I have everything set up and ready to go. So let's keep going. Okay, so we're going to start with sentence switcheroo. Today's game will challenge you to build your skills for learning. You're going to listen to me read a sentence twice. Rule number 1. If the word is different, the second time I read the sentence, sit down. Rule 2 is if more than one word is different, the second time I read it, the sentence reach up high. Rule 3, if no words are different, stay standing. So I'm going to read those one more time, and I have my sentences right over here to the left. Okay, so let me read the rules one more time. Okay, so rule number 1, if one word is different the second time I read the sentence, sit down. If more than one word is different the second time I read the sentence, reach up high. Now rule number 3, if no words are different, stay standing. Okay, so you're gonna start standing. I'm standing right now, so I might just like bend down a little bit, okay? So, brain builders are exercise for growing your brain. Okay? So that was the first sentence. And then so let's go over the rules one more time. Rule 1, if one word is different the second time I read the sentence, sit down. Rule 2, if more than one word is different, like 2 or more, then you have to reach up high. Rule 3, if no words are different, stay standing. Okay, so that was the first sentence. Brain builders are exercise for growing your brain. Here's the second one. Brain builders are practice for growing your brain. So I'm sitting down because one word was different. Give me a thumbs up if you did the same thing. All right, here's the next one. Brain builders are attention for growing your brain. That doesn't really make sense. So let's try another sentence. Brain builders are exercise for attention. Okay. I bent down because that's different from the first one. Okay, brain builders are exercise for memory. Okay. I'm sitting down because one word was different. Okay, now here we go. To focus your attention, concentrate and ignore distractions. Okay, that's the sentence. I'm going to read it one more time. To focus your attention, concentrate and ignore distractions. Okay, let's try another one. To listen with attention, concentrate and stay on task. So that was more than one word was different. So let's reach up high. Give me a thumbs up if you did that. Nice. Okay, let's try another one. Planning helps you learn. Okay, that's our sentence. So I'm going to stay standing. And then, ready? Self-talk helps you focus. I'm going to put my hands up high and reach up high because that was different. Great job, you guys. All right, we're going to keep going. Your skills for learning will help you be a successful learner. Successful learners also make plans to help themselves learn. Planning is our lesson topic today. All right, now we're ready for the story and the discussion. All right, and I have my little story and discussion right over here. All righty, so here's the photo that we're using. So this right here is Cheng. His teacher is asking for his homework, but he forgot to take it home again. I've forgotten to take things home before. I think all of us have done that. Think about how Cheng feels. I think he might be upset, embarrassed, or frustrated. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Or give me a nod, yeah. Cheng feels upset about forgetting to take home his homework. He's frustrated that he did it again. Show a thumbs up if this has ever happened to you. It's happened to me. I've done it before. And sometimes it takes us to make mistakes to learn from them. So Cheng needs a plan to help himself remember to take home his homework. A plan tells you the steps to take to get something done. A good plan makes sense, is simple, and is something you can do. Okay? So we're going to think about the things that Cheng can do to help himself be successful. So I was thinking he could maybe write a note. He can maybe use his planner, ask a friend to remind him. If you have some ideas too, give me a thumbs up. Nice. Cheng decides his first step is to write himself a reminder note. He writes, remember homework in big letters on his bright notebook paper. His second step is to put the note somewhere he's going to see it. I'm wondering where he might put his note. If you have some ideas, put your finger to your chin. Wow, I'm seeing so many ideas. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe on his desk, in his backpack, somewhere where he's really going to see it. Maybe even in his cubby, or maybe even at home. Chang decides to put the note on top of his desk. Sometimes Chang remembers to take out his homework, but then he forgets to take it home. He needs a third step. Oh, maybe putting his homework in his backpack, putting it under his chair, putting it on his desk. So Chang decides his third step is to put his homework in his backpack right after he reads his reminder note. Now Chang has a 3-step plan for getting his homework home. Let's check Chang's plan with a good plan checklist to see if it's a good plan. All right, so let's see what we have next. Here we go. So these are 3-step plans that are examples. Okay, so here's scenario 1. You need to clean your desk. It's very, very messy. I've had a messy desk before. I think all of us that work really hard definitely can get a little messy sometimes, and that's okay. So number 1, I want you guys to do this with me on your fingers. Number 1, take everything out of the desk. Number 2, sort it into piles of garbage, recycling, books, supplies, and so forth. Ooh, that scared me. That's okay. So number 3, put things neatly back in your desk or in a good order. Okay, so now scenario 2. Here we go. You have a book report to do and you don't know where to start. Number 1, think about the books you like to read. Number 2, choose one you'll have enough time to read. And 3, go to the library and check it out. So, I love that. So this is the plan for the library. Think about the books you want to read. Choose one that you'll have enough time to read and go to the library and check it out. Those are such good scenario examples. Okay, so now I want you to think about what you could do. Let's say you're planning to get some homework done or to get some work done for school. You can have a 3-step plan and you can make sure the order makes sense. It's simple and you can do it. The most important thing out of all of this is that you can do it. So I always do this to myself. I always make a really big to-do list and it's too much, but I always get more done when I make it as simple as possible. Okay? All right, let's keep going. So now we're going to watch this little video that is about how to stay organized. Okay, here we go.
In this video, we're going to be showing you how to stay organized for distance learning. Since you may not have the in-person contact with your classes as you may be familiar with in school, you'll have to keep yourself on track and accountable. You're going to be managing a lot on your own, so I hope you'll find these organizational tips helpful for you. Remember, you've got this. Here are the 4 tips that we'll be taking a closer look at. Number 1, create a workspace. Number 2, time management. Number 3, take breaks. Number 4, use your resources. Tip number 1 is to create an efficient workspace. Having an organized workspace can help your mind focus whenever you sit down to work. You will want to find an area that is quiet and free of distractions. This should be separate from your bed and not where you generally like to relax. Here's what you'll need: a laptop or a desktop, a desk or a table, a chair, something to write with like a notebook, paper, or pencil, and headphones if you have any. Find a spot that allows you enough space to take notes, either on your laptop or by hand. You may want to consider working on a table or a desk where you could be seated. Both your table and chair should allow for good posture. The chair should be comfortable to allow your feet to rest on the floor. Another thing to keep in mind is to eliminate any distractions like your phones or TV. Put your phone on silent, airplane mode, or turn it off. Keep your phones away from your work area. Don't play anything else on in the background like Netflix because it will be really tempting to get consumed and lose track of time. Tip number 2 is time management. Becoming better at managing time allows you to be more organized, feel confident, improve your work quality, and learn more effectively. It could also help students avoid procrastination problems. To help you manage your time, you'll want to build a schedule. You could write or type your assignments and activities somewhere you could visualize in one place. This will keep you from having to juggle between many courses. You could also do this by using a list format, a physical calendar, electronic calendar, or a planner. When you get information about when an assignment is due, make sure you write it in your schedule. This will help you keep track of what is happening in your classes and assignment deadlines. You don't want to rely on your brain to remember everything because you might forget. You can also use your calendar to add in reminders of when to start your assignments. While it may be tempting to wait until the last minute to do your assignments, you should try to have things completed earlier to allow more flexibility. Ideally, assignments should be finished a couple of days before the deadline. You may feel less stressed knowing that your assignments are completed before the due date to give you some flexibility in case something comes up. In this example of my weekly schedule, I have my teacher's office hours at the top. This will help me remember when I could drop in if I need to ask questions or need clarification. I also place my class meetings and class assignment deadlines. This will provide one central location to visualize what is coming up so I can plan accordingly. As you can see in my weekly schedule, I included my morning ritual of getting up at 7:30, washing up, making my bed, eating breakfast, and checking my class updates and messages. Having a routine will help you start your day and can have an impact on how productive you are. The next thing you'll want to do is decide what you will do and when. You will want to plan ahead and work on these assignments early so that you don't end up procrastinating. Since I know when my assignments are due, I can start planning and schedule reminders to help me remember when to do those assignments.
Okay, I'm going to pause that right there because that's a lot to think about. And I think the most important thing to remember is when you're planning for learning, you're planning to make sure your workspace is ready to learn, but you're also making sure that you're not going to be stressed out or have way too much to do before you run out of time and procrastinate. Okay, so those are some ideas, and now we're going to wrap up. So today you learned that making plans helps you at school. A good plan makes sense, is simple, and is something you can do. Planning is another skill that helps you be a better learner. Think of a time next week that you can make a plan. All right, so I thought it would be a really great idea to do habit number 3, put first things first. And this is called Pokey and the Spelling Test. And I just thought that this was really relatable because I think sometimes we get really excited about certain things and we forget to put first things first, but we always need to make sure we have a plan to get what we need to get done. So let's listen to this story.
Pokey and the Spelling Test. One Monday, Pokey sat in class watching Miss Hoot write 6 words on the blackboard. Play, fun, have, for, you, drum. These words will be on Friday's spelling test, said Miss Hoot. Be sure you study every night, and then you'll spell these words just right. After school, Pokey went home and took a nap. Ding dong! Someone was at the door. It was Sammy. Hiya, Pokey, said Sammy. Do you want to go to the dump and look for gadgets? Pokey knew he should study, but going to the dump sounded like more fun. Sure, said Pokey. When they got there, Pokey saw an old drum. He thumped it lightly. Dum, 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 dum. Awesome, said Pokey. He carried the drum home. He played it for the rest of the afternoon. On Tuesday, Lily Skunk and Tag-Along Allie stopped at Pokey's house. Allie and I just made some chocolate chip cookies. They're so yummy, said Lily. Want to try them? Said Allie. What? asked Pokey. Do you want to try some? Said Lily. I have to study for my spelling test, said Pokey, but I guess I can do that later. So off he went to Lily's house. When Pokey got back, he played his drum, and then he played his harmonica. Then he fell asleep. On Wednesday, Pokey went on a butterfly hunt with Goob. And on Thursday afternoon, he took a bicycle ride with Jumper. When he got home, he remembered that the spelling test was the next day, and he hadn't studied even one word. He took out his spelling cards. He taped them to the wall. play, fun, have, for, you, drum. Pokey tried to write them down, but the letters swam in front of him like fish. There were too many words to learn in just one night. The more Pokey tried to memorize them, the more confused he got. He finally gave up and went to sleep. The next day, Pokey failed the test. He spelled every word wrong except for drum. "What happened?" asked Miss Hoot. "Didn't you study? I know you could have done better." "I kept finding other things to do," said Pokey. Sophie was standing nearby. "You shouldn't procrastinate," she said. "Huh?" said Pokey. "I mean, you should have put first things first," said Sophie. "Done your homework first, then had fun later." Miss Hoot agreed. She told Pokey he could take the test again next Friday. "And this time, don't wing it," she said. Pokey went home. He looked at his new drum. Dum, 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 he heard in his head. He looked at his spelling words. Ding dong! Someone was at the door. It was Sophie. "I can help you study," she said. They worked for a whole hour without stopping once. Ding dong! Someone else was at the door. It was Jumper. "Want to play baseball?" he said. "Can't, Jumper," said Pokey. "I'm studying." "You're what?" "Studying," said Pokey. "That's cool," said Jumper. "Catch you another time." And off he ran. Pokey studied a little bit each day. On Friday, he took the test again. "Fur and feathers," said Miss Hoot. "You got a perfect score." Pokey's quills poked out all over. He wanted to thank Sophie. He went home and got his drum. He took it to her house and left it with a note. "For you, play drum. Have fun. Love, Pokey."
Wow, so Pokey was able to learn that he needed to put first things first, and he needed to plan for his spelling test. So that's really important, guys. And that's something that actually took me a while to learn, because I think sometimes we think we're going to have all this time and then we end up putting it off, and then we learn our lesson and then we never do it again. And that's kind of what I learned. I learned to not do that anymore so that I can feel less stressed out and more calm. Okay? All right. So looks like that is the end of our lesson today. It was so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to see you guys. I had the best time, and I hope you did too, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. Okay, bye.